Welcome back to Home Living with CD. I'm Chris once again. Today's video, we're going to show you how to turn this into this. A super tonic. It's going to give your garden a super boost. Stay with us. We're going to turn a common beet that you find in your backyard. This is called barnyard grass. We're going to take our barnyard grass that we find in our backyard and actually let it grow, and I don't cut it down. I let it grow when it's nice and tender. I like to pick it, and with my grass clippings, I turned it into a really strong fertilizer tea that I use for the garden to give it an extra pop. And today we're going to break down the process. It's very stinky, but it really does help the plants, and today we're going to show you how to do it. But first, why do we want to make fertilizer teas in the first place? Fertilizer teas are a liquid concentrate that's made from steeping nutrient-rich material in water, typically for about 10 to 14 days. And some reasons that barnyard grass tea fertilizer is beneficial for me, first and foremost, is it grows in my backyard, so it's free. Second, it's really high in nitrogen, and that, along with my grass clippings, I don't use any chemical fertilizers on my backyard. I have 3 dogs that run around. You guys have seen it, so I keep it organic and all natural back here. I don't do a lot of fertilizing just because it's not going to look as good as my front yard, because it's got 3 large dogs running around on it. So I can easily harvest it for free, right? Just a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, and putting up with the smell. The microbes that are released from the breakdown of the barnyard grass are really good for the soil. It actually helps your plant roots absorb the nutrition that you put in with other fertilizers. This isn't going to be a replacement for your fertilizing regimen, right? So you're still going to fertilize either with your granular slow release fertilizers or your liquid fertilizers, but this is just going to give you a nice boost, especially when you're starting to transplant your plants, your seedlings. You get them hardened off and you're going to put them into your beds or your grow bags. This is a really good option. Similar to how we use the blood meal, this is another option. Also, it's really good once those plants are established in your beds or your grow bags and it's time for them to start producing fruit. When you start seeing your cucumbers, when you start seeing your squash, your zucchini, or your tomatoes, this nitrogen and phosphorus rich mix will really help the production of the fruit. As far as materials needed, all you'll really need is a large container, like a 5-gallon container that I have here, or 10, or however large you want to make it. So you'll need this. This is what you're going to keep your water, and you're going to actually make your tea in that. Then just go around your yard and pick up the barnyard grass. Just rip it right out. You can avoid the roots or the soil that's attached to it. It's really good. And you can also want to make sure that the barnyard grass is not going to seed. I'll put a picture of what it looks like once it starts to seed. These have not. So these are good to go. This is what you want. You're also going to want, if your barnyard grass is a little longer, a pair of shears or seeds would be really good to break it up into smaller pieces. That's just going to help it break down a little faster and release the nutrients a little faster for your tea. You also want to have a breathable cover, or a cover that you can loosely put on top of your bucket in your container. For me, I have this lid. It's a screw down lid. I didn't screw it down. I just kind of gently placed it on top just to keep the bugs and stuff out. You want the airflow to move in and out. Now, once your barnyard and grass clipping tea has steeped for 10 to 14 days, I usually let mine go for 2 weeks, just to make sure it's broken down really nicely. What you're going to need is a way to strain the clippings once you pour them out, and a container to catch it. Typically, what I do is I'll strain the pour into this container, and then I'll just bottle it up this way, or depending on how much tea I make, I'll usually just transfer it from a container like this into a mason jar or a container. If I have done a lot, then I use a larger container or something like this. You do want a container that's going to be kind of airtight. Again, all my research before making this, all the research that I did in preparation for starting to make my tea, it was saying that this mix is a bit stinky or it's a little smelly. It's very, very pungent. It's not for the faint of heart. It smells really, really bad. So you're gonna have to keep that in mind and keep it in something that's gonna be airtight. Once you've got it strained, you've got to put it into your container. Then you're just going to dilute it based on how strong you feel the mix is. So now you're left with the stinky mess, right? This is the leftover broken down. You can either bury this in your garden and use it essentially like a compost, but you are going to want to put a good, I'd say 3 or 4 inches of soil on top of this because the smell is very, very strong. Another option is you can actually put this in your composter and let it continue to compost down and use it in 4 to 6 months whenever you go to use your compost back on your garden. Me personally, it smells so bad. I put it in a bag and throw it away. I do. I know that's not the most efficient way to use it. There's a lot better ways to use it, but it just smells so bad. Now that we've got all of our jars, our containers filled up, they're all airtight. As you can, I'll show you. You're gonna want to use an airtight container because, as you can see, there's no flies, right? And that means none of that strong smell is sneaking out, drawing in all the bugs and the flies to your garden and to your yard area. Now, once you get them all jarred up, you're going to want to store it in a dark, cool place. You don't want to just leave it outside in your yard. You don't want to leave it in your garage either. So what I typically do, I have a cabinet that's in a shade. I just put it underneath the cabinet and pull it out when I use it. So now that we know the benefits of mixing our weed fertilizer tea, let's just show you how you do it. It's really easy. I want to take the container, and I've already got it filled up about halfway with water. You're going to want to gather all of your weed. This is our barnyard weed and some of our grass clippings. I've got this bucket about 3/4 of the way full. Completely submerge it in the water. Just loosely put the top on, not too tight. Okay, that's it. And then you're going to want to keep this mixture as far away from your house as you possibly can, because over the course of the next 3 or 4 days, it's really going to start to smell strong. That's about it. And you want to dilute this 1 part tea, 10 parts water. Fill up your watering jug and just use it around your plants. I'll show you how we do that as well. So now to dilute the tea, I'm going to use a 1-to-10 ratio since I just mixed it and it's pretty pungent, right? So I'm going to do the 1-to-10. This is a 2-gallon watering container. There's 16 cups in a gallon, so that's 32 gallons. This mason jar is measured in cups, so 32 cups, 3 to 10. I'm gonna put 3 cups of the mixture. Oh, it smells as good as I remember. Okay, there you have it. So now we got 2 gallons of our weed fertilizer tea. And where we love to use it is when we're doing our transplants. So we're gonna go over and transplant a beautiful jalapeno plant and use our tea. Okay, so we have this jalapeno plant that you guys hopefully watched the video. We're starting that as a seed. This plant's about 5-6 weeks old. Reach roosted good. We hit it with our tea. Okay, if you have a plant that's flowering, maybe in between, you're fertilizing every 2 weeks. Just a little bit of the fertilizer tea really helps it flower and produce fruits for you. As far as diluting, play it by ear. There's a lot of different varieties of weeds that you're going to use, right? A general rule for me is it smells like concentrated swamp, right? Just in your face, super strong. You want to dilute it down to a point where you really can't smell it. If it's still too pungent, say you do a 1 to 4 mix, and you can still really smell that decaying swamp smell, bump it up, try 1 to 6, then try 1 to 8. I just keep it safe, keep it light, because I like to use it for my transplants or my seedlings. So I want to keep it kind of mild. So I just do a 1 to 10. Works pretty good for us. Doesn't stink up the yard. So enjoy it. If you enjoy the video, please like, subscribe, share videos. Leave comments down below. Let us know what you guys want to see. We're in the middle of our summer here, so we're kind of phasing out our early spring plants, and we're coming into our hot summer plants. So comment, like, subscribe, and let us know. Thanks for joining us again, and we'll see you in the next video.